news and notes from around the queue.
All right, so the Moncton Wildcats have officially announced that they are not putting in a bid for the 2025 Memorial Cup. It will be between Shawinigan and Rimouski. This was a 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Lala set bomb. Actually, 12 o'clock, he said that the Wildcats are no longer in the running. Battle, therefore, seems to be between Shawinigan and Rimouski, like I just said. So the Wildcats come out with a statement. While the organization was deeply committed to bidding for the 2025 Memorial Cup, we have made the decision to forego submitting a bid at this time, realizing that major junior hockey team in the province of Quebec has not hosted the national championship in the past 10 years. Fun fact, I'll get to that in a minute. The chance of winning the competitive bid is very unlikely. We recognize the Canadian Hockey League wants to ensure various member provinces get to host a Memorial Cup, but we know that our organization, committee, and province would have submitted an outstanding bid. We're disappointed we won't have the chance to bring the 2025 championship to our fans and our community without a reasonable chance of being selected. The Moncton Wildcats cannot commit the time, effort, and resources to prepare this extensive bid, and which, when you look back at the hosts of the Memorial Cup since 2007, Hull, Halifax, Quebec, Moncton, Rimouski, Shawinigan, Quebec, Halifax, St. John, and now either Shawinigan or Rimouski. So it was fine from 2009 to 2015 for 3 Quebec teams to host, but it's not all right for 3 maritime teams to host. As much as this sucks, I blame Regina.
Experience Regina.
Yeah. I mean, they got the 100th Memorial Cup when it was supposed to be in Quebec, or when it was supposed to be in the Q, which that probably would have been St. John there, and then Halifax would have had it, and then when St. John actually hosted it 2 years ago, Quebec would have had that, we'd have been fine. I guess, sure. I mean, if you're the commissioner and you're putting on an event of this magnitude for the country to see, nothing against Shawinigan, because they put on a heck of a Memorial Cup in 2012. Jeremy was there. I watched it on TV. I don't remember the 2009 one, but you have to look at your rosters around the league. And Moncton's going to have a great roster next year. We have the facility. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't have to be we have to get one in Quebec, because now you've pigeonholed yourself into 2 in a row, because, well, Bathurst might be on a cycle in 2028. Cape Breton, they're on kind of the same cycle as us. St. John isn't going to get another one. So now you're going to get 2 in a row in Quebec. Congratulations. That's maybe what they were thinking, is if we take this one, we get 2 in a row in Quebec now.
I've been following this team long enough to know that that's not it. It's not Wildcat wording. To me, it almost feels like there was, well, I understand the league probably said, look, don't bid on it. We're going to choose a Quebec team. The great Michael Scott, didn't he say once, you miss 100% of the shots? You know, it's obviously a Michael Jordan quote. But Michael Jordan quote, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but Michael Scott from The Office.
It's more known by Michael Scott than Michael.
No, that's true. I think this organization has the financial ability to put in a bid, and if they don't get it, they don't get it. I mean, we put in a bid in 2000, and when did Halifax, was it
2018.
2018? Was it 2018?
Yeah, because it was the first year I moved here.
Right.
It was the first season I moved here. I was like, oh, bonus, I move here and we might get a Memorial Cup.
So essentially that's...
So it was the 2018-2019 season.
So we bid for that one, we lost it. Yeah. And we were going to bid for this one, and basically we're told you lost it. Yeah, it's disappointing. Kevin Barrett's article has a little more information compared to the
I can't bring it up.
Team statement, basically saying that Mr. Irving received a phone call from the Canadian Hockey League committee in charge of site selection, indicating that teams from Quebec would have the inside track, in large part because the CHL championship has not been staged in that province since May 2015, when Quebec served as hosts.
Where's that our problem? That the cycles...
And I quote, I was given notice that because it is being out of the province for 10 years, it would not be favorable for us, and that would not be in our interest, because we would go through all the exercise and put all the money, time, and effort and come up short. So when I heard that, I said, well, with the chances of us not being able to host it, then we wouldn't put the time and effort into it. He goes on to say that they are sincere in their intent to host, and that they're going to put their best effort forward. So if you're, and I don't think this is, I'm not knocking the Wildcats here. If your intention was to put your best foot forward, why not do it? You know, that's I think where I'm coming from, and where I'm struggling from is, okay, if you lose it, you lose it. If you won't know if the site committee could say that, but Rimouski and Shawinigan could be a complete dud. And then who are you going to look at? You've got nothing. Are you going to call up Mr. Irvin and be like, look, you want this or not? You know, I think it was, if I don't know how much it costs to put in a bin for the Memorial Cup. I know it's, you know, we like to say that, you know, our organization is financially,
it's a big market team.
It's financially stable, and I feel like we'd be able to afford the bidding process, and it's disappointing because you're right. Like we have the team right now on paper that looks like we could, you know, do some damage next year, but I just hope this doesn't change the direction. I really hope the team still.
What is the direction?
Before
I ask you that, sorry, this is ridiculous. On the basis that every major league in the Canadian Hockey League has teams in other provinces, the OHL and the WHL have teams in the United States. Mm-hmm. I don't think that teams in the WHL are getting the call. Like, I don't know, Saskatoon. Yeah, we don't want you to put a bid in. We need it to go to the United States. Mm-hmm. The last time it was in the United States in that market was Seattle in 1992. Mm-hmm. The last time it was in the OHL in the States, I can't even find it, but it's going to Saginaw this year. Like, is this happening in other leagues? Sorry, Spokane had it. So 92, 98. Spokane in 1998 was the last American team. Is the commissioner there calling them saying, we don't put a bid in Red Deer, don't put a bid in Saskatoon, we need it to go to the United States? No. Mm-hmm. You build it on a cycle, and if the maritime teams have the cycles at the time, great. I'm sure that Quebec wanted to have the Memorial Cup 2 years ago, and I'm sure that Gatineau wanted it in their brand new building, but it just didn't line up.
Yeah.
And that's the most ridiculous thing is now we're being penalized because our cycle A was taken away by COVID and B was taken away because it's not going to Quebec. Mm-hmm. We didn't have it for 3 years.